Hi everybody, Rain Brown here. I am here in Oroville at my place, Coffee and Cream, with Mom and Bam.
Hey, everybody.
Alaskan Bush people's youngest star, Rain Brown, is breaking her silence after a shocking arrest that's left fans stunned. In an emotional statement, Rain is setting the record straight, and what she says might change everything you thought you knew. Stay tuned, because the truth behind her denial of wrongdoing is more complicated than anyone expected. The youngest member of the once beloved Alaskan Bush people family, Rain Brown, has found herself at the center of a storm few could have predicted. Known for her bright spirit, off-grid lifestyle, and close bond with fans, Rain's recent arrest on serious burglary and malicious mischief charges has stunned longtime followers of the show. But Rain isn't staying silent. Days after her release from jail, the 22-year-old reality star took to social media to speak out, insisting she's innocent and promising that the truth will eventually come out. Her post, emotional and defiant, reveals a young woman struggling to reclaim her identity amid an avalanche of accusations, fractured family ties, and the weight of fame that never truly fades. The arrest that shocked fans. It all began on April 11, 2025, when Rain Brown and her husband, Josiah Lorton, were arrested in Okanogan County, Washington. The charges were serious: first-degree burglary, first-degree malicious mischief, and criminal trespass. Authorities allege that the couple broke into a property belonging to a family member and stole a large amount of valuables. Court filings, obtained by multiple outlets, detail allegations of missing items worth over $170,000, including gold coins, firearms, cash, and bottles of vintage wine. Police say surveillance footage placed the pair at the scene, and that Josiah may have had prior knowledge of the valuables' location. While both Rain and Josiah were released without bail on April 14th, the fallout has been swift. Headlines exploded across social media, tabloids circulated sensational theories, and within hours, Rain Brown's name, once associated with rugged wilderness adventures, was linked to an alleged family theft. Rain's emotional response. For days, Rain remained quiet. Then, on Instagram, she finally broke her silence. In a heartfelt post, she poured out her pain and frustration. "It hurts my heart that my rainbows would choose to believe the lies that my old manager who stole $43,000 from me and abused me, instead of maybe thinking, 'Oh no, who is saying this about Rain?' Not, 'Wow, what a waste.' With all this said, I hope y'all will stick around to hear my side of the story. God bless y'all." Her message, raw and unfiltered, offered no detailed rebuttal of the charges, but it was clearly a plea for empathy. Rain didn't directly deny the alleged burglary, yet she painted herself as a victim of betrayal and manipulation. To her fans, she seemed heartbroken that people she once trusted had turned against her. In the comments, supporters rallied behind her. "We know you, Rain," one wrote. "Keep your head high." Others, however, expressed confusion, pleading for clarity about what truly happened. Rain Brown's life has never been ordinary. Born Merry Christmas Catherine Raindrop Brown in November 2002, she was just a child when Alaskan Bush people first aired on the Discovery Channel in 2014. For over 8 years, viewers watched the Brown family, led by patriarch Billy Brown and matriarch Ami Brown, as they built homes, hunted for food, and faced the brutal challenges of Alaska's wilderness. Rain was the family's youngest child, often portrayed as cheerful, artistic, and deeply spiritual. When her father died in 2021, Rain's world seemed to change. She publicly grieved, calling him her hero, and vowed to keep his memory alive. But behind the scenes, tension within the family reportedly deepened. Over the past 2 years, the Browns' off-screen lives have grown increasingly chaotic. Rain's older brother, Noah Brown, reportedly filed a welfare check request earlier in 2025, citing concerns about Rain's and their mother Ami's well-being. Then, last year, Noah and his estranged wife filed a restraining order petition against Rain, accusing her of harassment and substance abuse, a request the court later denied, citing a lack of evidence. The siblings' relationship, once close, has clearly suffered. Rain has accused Noah of abuse when she was younger, a claim he strongly denies. Family insiders say trust within the clan has completely collapsed. These fractures may now play a role in the unfolding legal drama. The alleged burglary targeted property belonging to Josiah Lorton's uncle, but some sources suggest that other Brown relatives have also become entangled in the accusations and investigation. Inside the allegations. While court proceedings are still underway, several outlets have obtained details from law enforcement reports. The complaint alleges that Rain and Josiah entered a rental property without permission and removed cash, gold coins, and vintage wine valued at more than $170,000. Damage to the property was estimated at $5,000, including broken locks and a destroyed storage cabinet. Police reportedly recovered some of the missing items in the couple's possession, including antique wine bottles. Surveillance video from nearby properties allegedly shows a truck matching Josiah's at the scene. Rain and Josiah have both pleaded not guilty to all charges. Though these details remain unproven in court, they paint a picture of a complicated and deeply personal dispute, one that blurs the line between family loyalty and criminal accusation. To understand why this case has drawn such intense attention, one must look at the legacy of Alaskan bush people itself. When the series debuted, it promised an inspiring story, a large family living off the land, defying modern norms, and relying on love and teamwork to survive. Fans admired their grit, faith, and independence. But as years passed, the line between authenticity and reality TV storytelling blurred. Critics accused the show of staging scenes and exaggerating hardships. Some locals in Alaska even accused the Browns of faking their off-grid lifestyle. By the time the show ended in 2022, the family's reputation was mixed, adored by loyal fans, but viewed skeptically by others. The current scandal now threatens to erase what remains of that goodwill. Rain Brown's fight for redemption. For Rain, this moment could define her future. Her Instagram post signals determination, not only to clear her name, but to reclaim her identity from public judgment. She hinted that a larger story is being hidden, accusing a former manager of both financial and emotional abuse. Some believe this could be an attempt to shift focus away from the legal case. Others think it's a cry for help from someone who has endured years of exploitation. Those who know Rain describe her as sensitive, fiercely loyal, and at times overwhelmed by fame. She's always been the emotional core of that family, one former production assistant told a tabloid. But after Billy died, she lost her anchor. Friends close to Rain insist she's not capable of the crimes she's accused of. Rain's biggest crime is trusting people too easily, one said. She's been used and hurt so many times. This situation feels like another betrayal. The Okanogan County Superior Court has not yet set a full trial date, but preliminary hearings are expected later this year. Legal experts note that burglary in the first degree in Washington state carries a potential sentence of up to life imprisonment, though first-time offenders rarely receive the maximum. If convicted, Rain and Josiah could face significant prison time, fines, and restitution. However, defense attorneys often emphasize the difference between possession and intent. If Rain's legal team can prove she didn't knowingly participate in the alleged theft, she could be cleared. So far, Rain's public statements have been minimal, likely on her lawyer's advice. Still, her social media activity, a mix of hopeful Bible verses and cryptic emotional posts, suggests she's trying to maintain her faith while navigating uncertainty. Online, the response to Rain's arrest and statement has been deeply divided. On one side are her loyal followers, fans who've watched her grow from a child on television to a young woman searching for purpose. They believe she's being unfairly targeted, perhaps caught up in family politics or false accusations. On the other side are skeptics who question her explanations and worry that her erratic posts hint at deeper personal struggles. Social media threads have become battlegrounds of speculation. Some call for compassion, others demand accountability. the controversy has even reignited debates about the ethics of reality TV, how early fame can distort identity, trust, and self-control. This isn't the first time the Brown family has faced legal or personal turmoil. In 2015, Billy and several of his children pleaded guilty to lying on Alaskan state documents about their residency in order to receive government benefits. They served short jail sentences and paid restitution. Since then, various family members have faced lawsuits, financial disputes, and relationship breakdowns. The Browns' once united image has shattered, with siblings moving across different states, rarely appearing together publicly. Rain's case, some insiders say, may be the breaking point, the moment when the family's private rifts spill completely into public view. Through it all, Rain continues to lean on faith. She's repeatedly posted about forgiveness, strength, and spiritual resilience. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers, she wrote, not long before the arrest. Afterward, she reposted a message about light overcoming darkness. Her mother, Ami Brown, has not publicly commented, though friends say she's devastated and praying constantly for her daughter's safety and redemption. The unfinished story. As the legal proceedings continue, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. Rain Brown's arrest marks a painful new chapter in a saga that has already included fame, grief, family tension, and now criminal allegations. Whether she emerges from this crisis vindicated or broken will depend on what happens next, in the courtroom, in her relationships, and within herself. For now, she's asking the world to wait, to listen, and not to rush to judgment. I hope y'all will stick around to hear my side of the story, she wrote. God bless y'all. Those words, though simple, carry the weight of someone who has lived half her life under public scrutiny. Rain Brown's story is not merely about a reality TV star's fall from grace. It's a reflection of how fame, family, and faith can collide in unpredictable ways. From her early days as a bright-eyed girl in the Alaskan wilderness to her current struggle in the harsh glare of modern scandal, Rain's journey mirrors that of countless young stars who found that reality TV fame offers little protection from real-world pain. Whether guilty or innocent, she's now in a fight to preserve her future, a battle as raw and perilous as any she faced on the show that made her famous. And as her case unfolds, the question remains, will Rain Brown be remembered as a victim of circumstance or as the architect of her own downfall? To understand the storm surrounding Rain Brown, we need to step back and look at the life she once led. Born Merry Christmas Catherine Raindrop Brown in 2002, Rain grew up in the rugged wilderness of Alaska, alongside her siblings and parents, Billy and Amy Brown. From the very beginning, life was anything but ordinary. The Alaskan Bush People series, which debuted in 2014, gave viewers a rare glimpse into a lifestyle defined by survival, faith, and family. The Browns built their homes by hand, hunted their food, and faced the unforgiving elements of the Alaskan wild. For fans, Rain was the youngest daughter, sweet, artistic, and full of energy.
But reality TV often masks the challenges behind the cameras. Behind the smiling faces and adventure-filled episodes, tensions simmered. After her father's death in 2021, Rain, like her siblings, faced not only grief, but the complexities of adulthood under public scrutiny. Family disputes over estates, personal relationships, and management of finances began to surface, some privately, others in the media. Rain and her husband, Josiah Lorton, were arrested in Okanogan County, Washington. The charges were serious: first-degree burglary, malicious mischief, and criminal trespass. Authorities allege that the couple stole over $170,000 in cash, gold coins, firearms, and vintage wine from a property connected to Josiah's family. Surveillance footage, according to reports, allegedly placed them at the scene. The arrest shocked the public. For a star who had grown up in front of cameras, the headlines were jarring. Suddenly, the narrative was no longer about family adventures in the wilderness. It was about legal troubles, betrayal, and questions of morality. Within days, Rain addressed her followers on Instagram. Her post did not deny every allegation directly, but it made clear that she saw herself as a victim of lies and manipulation. It hurts my heart that my rainbows would choose to believe the lies that my old manager, who stole $43,000 from me and abused me, instead of maybe thinking, oh no, who is saying this about Rain? Not, wow, what a waste. With all this said, I hope y'all will stick around to hear my side of the story. God bless y'all. For Rain, this is about more than legal charges. It is about trust, betrayal, and reclaiming her story. The mention of her former manager hints at years of personal and financial struggles behind the scenes, struggles that the public rarely sees. But there is also the family dynamic. Rain's older brother, Noah Brown, has been vocal about his concerns regarding his youngest sister's choices. Earlier this year, he filed a welfare check request for Rain and their mother, citing worries about substance abuse and mental health. He also previously sought a restraining order, which was denied. Meanwhile, Rain has accused Noah of past abuse, allegations he strongly denies. The Browns' private conflicts have now spilled into the public sphere, creating a situation where family loyalty, personal grievances, and legal accusations intersect. Media outlets have reported that the alleged burglary involved inquiries about pawn shops, possession of vintage wine, and disputes over property access. While none of these claims have been proven in court, they add layers of complexity to a story that is far from simple. Despite this, Rain's public persona remains resilient. She continues to lean on her faith and her fans for support. Her social media is filled with messages of spiritual strength, quotes about perseverance, and cryptic hints about the truth she plans to reveal. It's a calculated mix of vulnerability and defiance, a young woman trying to regain control over a narrative that has spun out of control. So, what does this mean for Rain Brown? The legal path ahead is uncertain. First-degree burglary in Washington carries serious potential consequences, but the outcome will depend on evidence, intent, and testimony. Rain's legal team will likely focus on separating her from alleged criminal intent, while the prosecution may emphasize the severity of the accusations and the alleged planning involved. Beyond the courtroom, there is also the matter of public perception. Rain's reputation, once built on innocence, adventure, and the charm of life in the Alaskan wilderness, is now under intense scrutiny. Fans are divided. Some insist she is being unfairly targeted, while others wonder if reality TV fame masked deeper problems. This is also a story about fame and the pressures of growing up in the public eye. Rain has spent nearly her entire life in front of cameras. Every milestone, from childhood games in the snow to her wedding announcement, has been witnessed by millions. Few young adults face such relentless observation, and fewer still emerge unscathed when the scrutiny turns negative. Her arrest, then, is not just a legal matter, it's a personal reckoning, a moment where the fantasy of reality TV collides with real-world consequences. And in the midst of it, Rain Brown is asking the world to wait, to listen, and to give her a chance to tell her story. In the coming minutes, we will examine the timeline of events surrounding the arrest, the family disputes that may have contributed to the situation, and what Rain's statements tell us about her side of the story. We'll also explore the broader implications, what this means for the Brown family legacy, for reality TV stars facing real-world problems, and for fans who have followed Rain's journey for over a decade. Because in this case, the lines between family, fame, and law are blurred, and the truth may be more complicated than anyone realizes.